Hey, are you there a little bit? You're free now, right?
Good evening, Megan. It's pretty late right now, so if you have business with me, I'd appreciate if you could keep it short.
Wow, I see you're just as cold and abrupt as ever.
Sorry, I don't mean to come off as rude, but I was literally just about to go to bed.
That's a surprise. It's often said that there's no rest for the poor, but I guess you must have reached some extreme level of poverty that you completely ran out of things to do.
Oh, listen to me, Megan. I thought I made this pretty clear before, but we're not nearly as poor as you seem to think we are. I have no idea where you get this stuff from.
Where do I get it from? Isn't it obvious? All it takes is one look at the dilapidated heap of junk you call a house to know you're not exactly affluent. I'd have to be blind or mentally handicapped to think you had money.
I made this clear before as well, but it obviously went straight in one ear and out the other. We're currently having a new house built on some land we bought, which is why we're temporarily renting out this dilapidated heap of junk, as you call it. My husband and I decided there was no sense in splashing out on something fancy when we're only going to be here for a couple of months at best, which is why we looked for stuff on the lower end of the market.
If that's true, then you should tell me where this house you're supposedly having built is, like I've been asking you all this time. I'd believe you in a heartbeat if you could prove what you're saying, but you refuse to tell me anything, no matter what.
What's the point? Telling you wouldn't make any difference. You'd only come up with another way to be a perpetual thorn in my side, so I'm not gonna bother.
What on earth are you talking about, dear? Come on, just tell me.
No. In any case, there's no way you'd be able to get there anyway.
How do you know I wouldn't be able to get there without even telling me? Oh dear, you sure can be dense sometimes.
I have no interest in telling you in the first place.
Excuse me?
No, you'll have to excuse me. I'm gonna sleep now.
Hey, I'm not done speaking to you.
I can barely keep my eyes open. I think you must be sending me to sleep. I couldn't continue this conversation even if I wanted to. Good night.
Wow, you can be so boring. But I guess you are a poverty-stricken loser with nothing to do. I guess it's only normal you'd end up being boring living a life like yours. You know what? I'll be kind and let you off the hook because I pity you. See ya! Lilibet! So you know how you're a sad, poverty-stricken loser with nothing but free time? Well, I very kindly came up with something for you to do.
What? I didn't need you to do that for me. And actually, I am super busy now, so please, you don't have to worry about me at all.
But if you don't take this on now, I'll be in a very awkward situation. I'm counting on you, dearie.
I'm not taking anything on from you.
So, hey, listen to this. I'm going on holiday to Hawaii soon.
I don't care. Whatever it is, I'm not helping you. Or rather, I literally can't, because like I just said, I am super busy.
I told the kids they're staying over at your house, so I'm counting on you for the next week. Thanks, dearie.
Wait, what? What did you just say? Oh, when you say kids, do you mean your kids?
Of course. Who else's kids would I mean? My husband's on the other side of the country on a solo work placement right now, and my folks live 6 hours away. So naturally, I'm going to rely on the person with the most free time on her hands.
Except I don't have the most free time. In fact, I barely have any free time at all. Why would you go telling your kids something like that when I already told you I can't help you with anything?
Why are you telling me this now? Last time we spoke, you told me you have so much free time that all you do is sleep.
I so did not say that.
Fine. If you're so busy, then tell me why. What exactly are you doing? I bet you won't tell me because it's secretly a big steaming pile of bull you came up with to get me off your back, right? I can read you like a book.
I'm on holiday in the Maldives right now.
Excuse me? The Maldives?
Yep, a family holiday. Even if you were dumb enough to take your kids to our house, they wouldn't be able to stay there because we're not even in the country.
Oh, I get it. There's a spa resort called the Maldives in the next city, right? I can't believe going to some cheap spa resort constitutes being in another country for you. You must be even poorer than I thought.
Wrong.
If you're only in the next city, I see absolutely no reason at all why my boys can't stay with you.
No, like I just told you, you're wrong.
Anyway, enough of this idle chit-chat. My darling angels will be arriving at your place shortly.
No, I'm in the real Maldives, the tropical islands in the Indian Ocean, not some frickin' spa resort.
You better hurry up and start driving home.
No. I am being serious here, Megan. I am in the Maldives, the country.
How many times do I have to say it?
I promise you, there isn't going to be anyone there when they arrive. Hey, Chrissy, I am sorry to bug you like this. It's still morning for you there, right? Good morning?
Oh, hey there, Lilibet. I'm surprised you're messaging me already when I only just waved you guys goodbye the other day. How's my favorite next-door neighbor doing? You and your family must be in the Maldives by now, right? How's it going? Is it as lush as it looked in the pictures you showed me?
Yes, we arrived, thanks.
I'm pleased to hear it.
I hate to have to ask you this, and I promise I wouldn't be contacting you if there was any other way, but there is something of utmost urgency I need you to do for me.
Oh, what is it, sweetie? Is everything all right?
Are Megan's kids outside my house?
Huh? Megan? Oh, you mean that annoying mom notorious for pulling that daycare trick?
Yes.
Hold on a sec, sweetie. I'll head out and take a look. Lilibet? Megan's kids were outside your house. Apparently they just got there when I went out to check.
Wow, so she actually sent them? Ugh, I can't believe it.
Don't worry, it's fine. I took them into my house for the time being. They're drinking soda and watching cartoons on the sofa.
Thanks, I am so sorry to trouble you like this.
It's fine, really. It's not like you could do anything from the other side of the world.
What are you gonna do next?
Don't worry, really. Everything's fine here. My husband's friends with Megan's husband, so I'm pretty sure we'll be able to figure something out.
Oh, really? Oh, I can't tell you how relieved I am to hear that.
I can't thank you enough for this, Chrissy. Seriously, you're the best. If, by any chance, did Megan make you the target of that awful daycare trick of hers?
Yes, it would appear so.
For some reason, she seems to think the fact that me and my husband aren't filthy, stinking rich somehow makes us poverty-stricken scrap heap dwellers.
Don't ask me how, but it seems like she convinced herself that I'm so poor that I couldn't possibly have any duties or responsibilities, which, in her mind, naturally makes me the perfect candidate to look after her brats on a moment's notice.
Did you tell her you're currently having a new house built?
I did tell her, but she's convinced I'm lying because I didn't want to tell her the address, so we're kind of at a stalemate.
Right, I see. You have a point. If she got wind of your new address, I get the feeling she'd do a 180 and convince herself you and your husband were loaded and constantly be pestering you for cash.
I know, right?
In any case, leave the kids to me. Luckily, it's my husband's day off, and he just messaged Megan's husband.
Thanks so much, Chrissy. You really are a star.
I'll keep you updated. As soon as I know anything, you will too.
Please, I'm counting on you. Thank you so much. Megan, apparently Chrissy, my next-door neighbor, is watching your kids at her place. She told me her husband messaged yours. So I'd appreciate it if you could keep all contact regarding this whole situation between you guys and not message me any further. I wouldn't understand what was going on anyway because, like I said before, I'm in the Maldives. Megan, my messages are on red, so I expect you to see this one too. It would appear your husband is ignoring Chrissy's husband's messages, but I really think it'd be best for everyone if you got back to him ASAP and got this whole situation resolved. She tells me there's a huge fuss going on over there right now due to all the things they found out about you after you dumped your kids on her and jetted off to Hawaii. The longer you let this ridiculous farce go on, the worse the consequences will be.
Yo, Lilibet, welcome home, dearie. I'll be arriving at the station soon, so I'll stop by on the way back home to pick the kids up. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, all those jumbled, incoherent messages you spammed me with while I was on holiday in Hawaii? What the heck was all that about? Have you been drinking? Did you seriously think I was gonna panic and rush home after you threatened me like that? I get you must have been desperate to dodge the responsibility of looking after my kids, but was there really any need to get aggressive? You're so sad and tragic. You'll be pleased to know I enjoyed Hawaii to the fullest for the entire week, just as planned. I'll be at your place in 30 minutes or so be a darling and get the boys ready to come home. Lilibet, what the hell is going on here? There's a looking for new tenants signboard up outside your house? Lilibet, do not ignore my calls, you insolent wench! What in the devil's name are you playing at?
Welcome home, Megan.
Where are my children?
I'm sure you could tell from looking at the place, but they're not there.
How could you be so irresponsible?
Irresponsible? I made it pretty clear I wouldn't be looking after them, did I not?
Just because you were on a day out at a spa resort in the next city is no reason for you to not look after my children.
Did I ever tell you I was at a spa resort? Did I? Even once? I made it abundantly clear we were in the Maldives.
There was no way a sad, pitiable, poverty-stricken loser like you could ever afford a vacation to the Maldives. Not in a million years. Hurry up and give me my children back, now.
I suggest you ask your husband about where the kids are.
Excuse me? I already told you my Harry is living away on the other side of the country for a work placement right now.
Good grief. If you take a good look at the messages you ignored while you were enjoying your time in Hawaii, you'll probably get a good idea of the gravity of the mess you're in.
Mess? What are you talking about?
If your husband's away, who did you go to Hawaii with?
Huh?
Let me guess. Is it someone you'd be in heaps of trouble for if your husband found out? It is, isn't it, Megan? That's why you've been sequentially dumping your kids on practically everyone you know for the last few months, isn't it, Megan? So you two could meet up without anyone finding out.
What? No. That's not true at all.
All right, great. In that case, how about you message Harry and see if he can tell you what's going on with the kids?
Really? Wait, are you saying my husband has the boys?
He does as far as I last heard. What comes next is for you guys to work out between the two of you, so I'm hereby officially dropping out of this absurd situation. My work here is done. I am washing my hands of you. Good luck and goodbye.
Lilibet, where the hell did you run off to? Give me the address of your new house at once.
Huh?
My husband divorced me because you wouldn't keep your goddamn mouth shut and look after my boys. How dare you? Ugh! He found out about the affair and now his lawyer is demanding I pay exorbitant amounts of compensation. Harry took custody of the boys, too. My life is being turned upside down and it's all your damn fault. I knew that I'd never be able to sleep again unless I let you know how furious I am with you directly to your wretched, ugly face. So I waited outside the entrance to the school. I thought your kid was supposed to be going to, so I could ambush him and make him tell me where you live. I waited almost 4 hours, but he didn't show up at all. What the hell is going on? Explain yourself now.
Oh my God. Actually, you know what? Screw it. I'm probably never going to see you again, so I may as well tell you. Our new house is not in the USA.
Huh? What?
Remember I told you we were having a new house built before? Well, that house is in another country.
Huh? Why would you move abroad?
We originally planned to move abroad due to my husband's work circumstances, and we figured it'd make the most sense to time it with little Kenny moving up to elementary school to minimize the burden on him. But my husband's work transfer got delayed by an entire year, giving us a huge amount of time to plan, so we figured we may as well have a house built while we waited. Our recent trip to the Maldives wasn't strictly just a vacation. We actually stopped off there on the way to a different country, which will not be named, to take our first look at our brand new house in person.
And why didn't you tell me any of this? I had a right to know.
On what planet do you have a right to know any of my private business? I didn't tell anyone except my friends and family. You might technically be an acquaintance of mine due to the fact our boys were in the same class at kindergarten, but beyond that, you're nothing but a stranger. I mean, come on, Megan, we've barely ever even spoken. The idea that I'd go telling you about the intimate details of my private life is ridiculous.
You're horrible!
I don't need to hear that from the kind of lunatic who tries to dump her kids on me out of the blue without my permission while completely ignoring my protests.
Do you have any idea how desperate my situation is right now? My husband divorced me and stole my children. Not only that, but my boyfriend broke up with me. You see, my husband isn't the only one demanding compensation. My boyfriend's partner found out too. And now she wants money from him. He flipped out and kicked me out of his house the moment he found out. I even got disowned by my own parents. My own parents, Lilibet. Do you have any idea how that feels?
Not my problem.
Please, how could you be so cold? What am I supposed to do now? I feel so hopeless. Huh?
Sorry, Pumpkin, but since this has absolutely nothing to do with me, I'm a head off now.
No, wait, please. At least hear me out first. You could at least let me share my troubles and give me a shoulder to cry on, couldn't you? I'm seriously in a bad spot right now. Lilibet, please.
Good grief. I wonder why the hell that deranged woman thought I'd have any interest in listening to her worries and giving her a shoulder to cry on after she caused me and my neighbor the mother of all inconveniences. Despite the fact we were never even friends to begin with. Her behavior was inexplicable right till the very end. As for what happened next, I heard this from Chrissy, who, by the way, I would like to thank for being so amazing throughout this whole thing. Thanks, babe. You're the best. Anyway, I digress. It turns out Megan, having almost no money left at all, was forced to move into the smallest, most beat-up heap of junk apartment in the whole city. Isn't that a sweet irony? Apparently, it doesn't even have a bathtub. I'm told there's a bathhouse nearby, but there's an entrance fee, which, as things stand, she can't afford. Now, having not showered in at least a month, her transformation into a grimy cave troll emanating a smell so noxious and putrescent that passers-by have to pinch their noses just to survive the encounter is officially complete. Astonishingly, she actually managed to land herself a job, but less surprisingly was fired during the first week due to her unique odor. Rumor has it that by this point, she's pretty close to being homeless. Lizzie, it's been a while.
Huh? Is this Rachel? Wow, no kidding. It really has been a while. Did you want something?
I see you're just as disingenuous as usual.
Whoa, what's with you all of a sudden? Is that seriously how you talk to someone you haven't seen in 5 years after messaging them out of the blue? Just because we were pals back in college doesn't mean you get to be disrespectful towards me. There are such things as manners, you know? We're not kids anymore either. To think you're a fully grown adult and still don't even know the meaning of basic decency yet?
You've got some nerve. Who are you with right now?
Huh? I'm on my own, you psycho. What's with the interrogation, detective?
Playing dumb isn't going to get you anywhere. I've been doing some digging. I know everything.
Huh? Digging into what? What do you know?
You might not have noticed, but there's a camera in that bedroom and I can see it in real time using an app on my phone.
A camera?
Seeing you guys smooch in my bedroom like that is making me want to vomit, so would you mind cutting it out?
Oh, I see. So, so mine and Donnie's steamy romance is out of the bag? Oopsie, I'm such a minx. What did I go and do?
Yes, and I'm pleased you accepted. There's no use denying it anymore. Now, if you wouldn't mind, hurry up and get the hell out of my mansion pronto.
Huh?
Given the situation, I'd be super grateful if you could do me a favor and take that scumbag traitor Donnie with you while you're at it.
What the heck are you talking about? Why would I do something like that? Don't talk crazy. The only one who needs to get out of this mansion is you.
Why?
Think about it. If mine and Donnie's secret is out, you guys are pretty much definitely gonna get a divorce now, right?
Right. Of course. I have no other choice. Divorce is the only option.
Well, that means that as of today, this mansion officially belongs to me and Donnie. Woohoo! I can't wait to start our new life together without having to worry about being found out. It's like a huge weight just got lifted off my shoulders. I'm actually glad.
Whoa. Slow down a sec there, Roadrunner. What exactly gives you the impression that mansion belongs to you all of a sudden?
I mean, duh, like, obviously it does.
I'm sorry, hun, but you are dead wrong.
But don't get the wrong idea. This was never about the money. Me and Donnie are truly in love with each other. It's just a coincidence that I ended up getting this mansion as a fortunate side product of our love. So don't go thinking I had my sights on it from the get-go or anything like that, because I didn't.
So you're saying you didn't get your claws into my husband for his money?
Right, exactly. Now, listen, Rachel, since I have a big heart, I'll kindly allow you some time to get your belongings together before I ban you from the place forever. But you better get a hurry on, because I want you and all of your things gone by the end of tomorrow. Hang on a sec. So, get this, Rachel. A letter came today. Do you know what it was? I think you know what it was. The compensation documents. 20,000 each from both me and Donnie. 40,000 in total. Wow. Are you really sure this is all you're going to ask of us? I was convinced after dropping down in status to a pitiful brokey after taking the financial hit of the divorce, you were sure to try and rinse us for as much as humanly possible. I can't tell you how surprised I was when I opened the envelope and realized how easy you're going on us. My jaw almost hit the floor.
That's the amount me and my lawyer decided on after a lengthy discussion. The payment instructions are written on the documents. I'd like it sooner rather than later, please.
Yeah, whatever. A measly 40K is chicken feed for Donnie. He'll barely even notice the difference in his bank balance, and obviously I won't notice at all because he's going to pay my share.
Chicken feed? Wow, it's all right for some, huh?
It must be so nice to be that well off. Why are you acting all surprised all of a sudden? You know better than anyone just how rich my man is.
The divorce papers?
Huh?
I left them with Donnie along with my lawyer's business card when I came to collect my belongings.
Oh, you mean those papers on the living room table? What about them?
Would you mind asking Donnie to get them filled in and sent to the address on my lawyer's business card as soon as possible?
If you're so worried about time, wouldn't it make more sense to fill them in yourself first? What a dummy you are.
I'll only be filling in my half when every last cent of the compensation I'm asking for has been paid in full into my bank account.
Oh, so that's how you're playing it, huh? If you tell me your address, I'll get him to send them to you.
I'm doing this through my lawyer precisely because I don't want to be directly involved with you, and I definitely don't want you knowing where I live. Take a hint.
Geez, touched a nerve, did I? I guess you're too ashamed to tell me your address because $150 a month cockroach-infested hellhole is probably the best you can afford now, isn't it, you poverty-stricken loser? Whatever, princess. Have it your way. I guess I can't hold not wanting to be seen in the depths of poverty after having lived at large in a big, luxurious mansion for so long. Jeez, Rachel, I almost feel sorry for you. Your pride must be at rock bottom. Sorry for not realizing what a sensitive issue asking for your address would be. I'll be more thoughtful in the future, princess.
Are you quite done? Just pay me my compensation as soon as you can. And see to it that those divorce papers make their way to my lawyer's desk as soon as possible.
Yeah, I heard you the first time, doofus. I want to get married to Donnie as soon as I can, so don't worry, honey pumpkin. This divorce will be over with before you know it, and then we can finally wash our hands of you. Oh, he's calling me to bed now. Gotta shoot. Time for some steamy fun with the stallion. Toodles! Hey, Rachel, Donnie says he paid both of our shares of the compensation, so you should have your full $40K now. He said he sent the divorce papers off to your lawyer's office a few days ago. Is the divorce still not finalized?
I don't need constant updates from you, Lizzie. Donnie's in touch with my lawyer, so save yourself the trouble.
But don't you see? I want to update you, honey bun, because I relish in it. Do you have any idea how hard I had to work to get the upper hand over you? You could at least be a good sport so I can enjoy the fruits of my efforts.
Get the upper hand over me? What's that supposed to mean?
Wake up and smell the coffee already, doofus. I'm living in what used to be your mansion here. But now you're nothing but a worn-out has-been living in a heap of junk apartment not fit for the cockroaches that infest it. You always were the most insufferable goody-two-shoes back in college, weren't you? God, the way you sucked up to the teachers infuriated me to no end. But it turns out you were just an extra here to support me, the main character, all along. You had some nerve to marry someone as rich as Donnie. I was livid when I found out you were tying the knot. Livid.
So is that why you decided to go after him, to get back at me?
Who cares what my reasons were? The fact is that he loves me now, regardless. And now, your pompous air of self-importance is nothing but a distant memory after I romantically and financially beat the crap out of you. Bam, pow, crack. I tell you, sweetie pie, I couldn't feel any more refreshed. I'm picking up good vibrations.
So this was nothing but a desperate scheme to heal your wounded pride all along? I must say, I'm kind of disappointed in you.
Huh?
I'm heading out to hand the divorce papers in now. The two of you are officially free to do what you like.
Woohoo! Yippee! Yahoo! Looks like me and my precious Donniekins have a marriage to register for tomorrow. Are you back from the clerk's office yet?
Did you register to get married by any chance?
Yeah, of course. We handed everything in first thing this morning at lightning speed. No brakes on the love train. With this, my ascent to the ranks of the select chosen few of the mansion-owning, ultra-celeb housewives of the world is complete.
Ultra-celeb housewives?
Yes, doofus. Ultra-celeb housewives. 'Cause as of today, I'm married to Donnie, my filthy rich love muffin. I know you're probably still reeling from the shock of losing everything, but you should at least still be able to read basic English.
I see. The thing is, Lizzie, Donnie isn't filthy rich at all. He's actually up to his ears in debt.
What did you just say?
Meh, whatever. Judging from your constant boasting, you're head over heels in love with the guy, so what should it matter if he's in dire straits financially?
Wait, Rachel, what the hell are you talking about?
Wait. Do you still not know? He borrowed the $40,000 he paid me in compensation from his uncle.
Huh?
On top of the $10,000 debt he was in to begin with, he must owe a square $50,000 by now. Good luck paying off his $50,000 of debt as a couple.
What the fuck? Rachel, what the heck is this? Are you telling me this huge mansion we're living in never belonged to Donnie? He said it was his family home, that he inherited it from his dad. Why do we have to leave?
Donnie doesn't have a family home anymore.
What? Why not?
Good grief. You married Donnie without knowing a single thing about his circumstances, didn't you? And what's worse, you didn't even bother to ask.
What are you talking about? None of this makes any sense.
Donnie's hometown is so far away you'd have to spend half a day on an airplane to get there. His mom took full custody of him when his parents divorced when he was 10. His mom remarried when he was an adult. She currently lives in Minnesota with her new husband. She no longer has anything to do with Donnie's real dad whatsoever. And Donnie hasn't seen him in decades, which means Donnie no longer has a family home.
Then who does this mansion belong to?
It originally belonged to my mom after she inherited it from my grandpa, her dad. Then when my mom passed, it went to my aunt. But then my aunt married and went to live with a guy she met down in Wyoming. She didn't want to sell it because of the sentimental value it had to all of us, but she also hated the idea of leaving it empty to rot, so she left me in charge of managing the place. Not long after I started doing that, me and Donnie got married, so we figured it made sense to move in there together.
Wait a second, does that mean... No way.
Yes way. Donnie could live 1,000,000 lifetimes and he still wouldn't have a hope in hell's chance of getting his mitts on that mansion. It has literally nothing to do with him now. After talking things over with my aunt, we've decided to put it on the market and sell up. So if the pair of you don't get out pronto, you're going to find yourselves in a really awkward situation.
Why didn't you tell me any of this before? We already got freaking married, goddammit!
But I did tell you.
Huh?
You were so insistent the mansion belonged to Donnie, but if you check through the chat logs, you'll see I did tell you were wrong.
What? Oh my god.
Go on, go ahead and check, it's all there.
Rachel, can I ask you one thing?
What is it?
Donnie's salary. How much does he make a year again?
His salary? If my memory serves me right, I think he made something like $25,000 last year.
$25,000? Is that all? How can that be when he lives such an extravagant lifestyle?
Where do you think he got that extra $10,000 of debt from? You know, aside from the $40,000 he just borrowed from his uncle to pay me in compensation. Apparently he used up all of his original savings on you when you constantly pestered him to buy you luxury branded clothing. It would appear that not wanting to destroy his hard-cultivated Mr. Rockefeller image, he went into debt so he could carry on lavishing gifts neither of you could afford on you to keep up the facade.
What? He destroyed his finances to buy me gifts? Oh, you've got to be joking me.
To be honest with you, I get the impression that even renting yourselves out a new apartment would be difficult at this point.
Oh my god. But I just sold my apartment to live with this broke loser. Ugh.
Oopsie. Now forgive me if it seems like I'm prying, but tell me, Lizzie, am I right in thinking relations between you and your parents are too frosty for you to rely on either of them for help? It's just I remember you saying something like that to me back in college is all.
Yes, that's right. Where am I supposed to live now? I am in the mother of all predicaments here.
Turns out it's your lucky day. I hear Donnie's uncle, you know, the one who lent him my $40,000 in compensation, is willing to take the both of you into his home on the condition that you look after the place and do all of his grocery shopping. Generous, right?
What?
Wow, did he seriously not tell you about that either? You guys have some severe communication issues.
This is the first I've heard of it. He doesn't tell me anything.
Well, how about you go try asking him now? I'm busy unpacking my things in my new house, so I don't really have time for this back and forth with you at the moment. Mind if we call it a day here?
Your new house?
Yep. I bought myself a place in Beverly Hills when I decided on the divorce.
A place in Beverly Hills?
Yep. It's a pretty old house, but I think it just adds to the charm. It's really lovely. What am I saying? It's Beverly Hills. Of course you already know how lovely it is.
Rachel, how is this possible? I thought you were just a regular company employee.
Yeah, my company's salary is about as average as it gets, but I have a side hustle which brings me in a tasty sum every month.
Side hustle? What's that? forget it. Just let me live with you.
Not in a million years, honey pumpkin.
Why not?
Why would you move in with me when Donnie's uncle has so kindly agreed to let you live with him? Besides, you and I are strangers now. You have nothing to do with me.
But I thought we were friends.
The idea of the scheming gold digger who stole my husband thinking of me as her friend is so monumentally gross that the thought alone makes my skin crawl.
Rachel!
I'm pretty sure I already told you this, but good luck paying off his $50,000 of debt as a couple.
No!
3 months passed between me starting to collect proof of the affair and everything finally getting settled. It's nice to finally be able to breathe now that the whole affair is done and dusted, and I can't wait to put it all behind me. Even back in college, Lizzie was always the type who only seemed to be able to understand the concept of love and romance through dollar-tinted glasses. I knew back then that she was destined to end up chasing after men with money to satisfy her lust for the material. I lost count of the amount of times she stole other girls' boyfriends. I never thought it would culminate in her taking my husband, though. That said, something tells me a broke, debt-ridden liar wasn't exactly the knight in shining armor she'd spent her whole life imagining she'd snag. Between you and me, I chuckled a little during our message exchange when the reality of her situation was obviously starting to sink in. Sadly, for my wayward ex-husband and his money-obsessed companion, the only fate that awaits them now is a life cooped up in a tiny apartment with his uncle, who, it just so happens, is rumored to be a huge pervert and serial panty thief with a rap sheet for sex crimes longer than your arm. Could these rumors perhaps have something to do with the crying my friend, who happens to be Donnie's uncle's next-door neighbor, tells me she can hear coming through the walls every night? You know what? There are some things in this world it's better not to know.
Harry, you've got some explaining to do. What's this I hear about you getting married? Is that true? We've only been divorced for 3 years. You've got to be out of your mind. What's wrong with you?
What the... Sarah? What do you care? It's none of your business anymore.
Of course it's my business. This new wife of yours, her name's Juno, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I'm not sure how you'd know that.
Don't underestimate me. I hired a private detective to follow your every move. Obviously, I know your wife's name. Oh, and just to let you know, all the money I paid to hire that private detective, as well as all the money I'll be spending now once I hired a lawyer.
A lawyer?
I think it'll come to just about $100,000. So I would recommend you take any steps you need to take to have that much cash on hand as soon as possible.
$100,000? Okay, I know private detectives and lawyers can be pricey devils, but $100,000? There's no way you spent that much.
That includes damages.
Damages? Damages for what?
You're really dense, aren't you? Don't worry, you'll see all the details once our lawyers reach a settlement.
Settlement? Wait, you're gonna sue me?
Oh, now you understand what's going on. I'm glad you finally decided to open your eyes. Yes, I'm gonna sue you. And yes, I'm gonna take you to the cleaners.
Hold on, what the hell are you gonna sue me for? We've been divorced for 3 years now, and we haven't even spoken but once or twice in that time.
You just admitted everything. You're getting remarried. So, I'm suing you. Get the picture? I have every right to sue you for that.
Are you drunk or something? Whatever, if you're just gonna text me to harass me like this, I'm gonna block your number.
That's fine with me. My lawyers will be contacting you shortly.
Just let me give you one word of warning. If you do anything to bother my wife, you're gonna regret it big time. Got it?
Hey, Harry, do you have a minute?
Hey, Gino, sure. What's up?
I just checked the mail and I found this weird envelope inside.
Weird envelope? Weird how?
Well, it's addressed to you. And it says it's from someone named Sarah. That's your ex-wife's name, isn't it?
Oh no. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, and the weird thing is, there's no stamp on it. Plus, our address isn't even written on it, so I think she must have delivered it personally.
Oh my god.
Is it okay if I open it to see what's inside?
Yeah, I guess that would be for the best. Look, I hate to push this on you since the issues between me and my ex don't concern you, but depending on what's inside, I might just have to act quickly, so yeah, go ahead and open it. It doesn't have to be now though, just whenever you have time.
Got it. I'll let you know once I've read it.
Thanks, Juno. And I'm sorry about getting you involved in this.
Okay, well, I read through everything.
What did it say?
Long story short, she says you had no right to get remarried only 3 years after we got divorced. Your doing so has caused me immeasurable pain and suffering. To compensate me for my pain and suffering, I'm suing you for the damages in the amount of $100,000. You must wire the entire amount into my bank account by the end of this month, or I will take you to court. And that's the gist of it anyway.
That makes absolutely no sense. Like, at all.
Plus, I'm 100% positive that she hasn't spoken to a real lawyer about this. Not only is it legally nonsensical, it also looks like it was written by a 6th grader. She misspelled at least one word in each sentence, and that's just the ones where she actually used punctuation. She also wrote you instead of you. The whole thing is just a 10-page mess.
Wait a minute, she wrote 10 pages?
Yeah, most of the pages were just her complaining about things you supposedly did or said to her when you were married, and another big chunk wasn't any specific complaint. She was just insulting you. The most important thing, as far as I could tell, was that she wants to see you for $100,000.
Oh, what am I gonna do with that woman?
Well, for the time being, nothing in here is legally actionable, so I think we're safe. Just in case, we might want to talk to an actual lawyer, though. One of my friends is married to a lawyer, so if you want, I could call her and try to set up a meeting.
That sounds like it'd probably be a good idea. Would you mind setting that up for us?
Sure thing. Give me a little time to try and get in touch with her. I'll let you know what she says later. Hey, Harry. Great news. I called my friend and she says her husband is open up this afternoon. I'm gonna head over right now.
Wow, that was fast. It's weird that he was free. I thought lawyers were typically really busy.
He is, but apparently his client for the afternoon canceled last minute, and he said I could stop by any time.
Jeez, what a lucky break. Tell him and your friend I said thank you. And also, again, Juno, I'm really sorry that all of this had to happen while I was out of town on business.
Don't worry about it. You're coming home tomorrow right on schedule, right?
Yeah, as of right now, I don't see anything coming up that would keep me here any longer than I planned.
Okay, well, I think if it's okay with you, I'll stay the night at my parents' house just to be safe.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me know if anything comes up.
Will do. I'm gonna go pack some stuff. I'll talk to you later. Love you.
Love you too, Juno. Take care.
What's the big idea, Harry? Why haven't you sent my money yet? I put my bank account information in the letter I sent you, so you've got no excuse. Either pay it by the end of the month, or I'll see you in court.
Did you actually think a stunt like that was going to work?
It's not a stunt. I'm exercising my legal rights to compensation for pain and suffering.
Oh yeah, alright. Oh, tell me, how did you come up with that $100,000 figure?
That's how much pain and suffering you caused me.
And did you ever think to consult with a real lawyer before sending me that letter?
Why should I?
I'll take that as a no then. So what did you base that number on? Do you have any court precedents that you can cite? Maybe a civil statute?
I already told you. When I thought about how much you hurt me, it felt like $100,000.
That reminds me, exactly what sort of pain and suffering did I actually cause you?
You remarried just 3 years after our divorce. That's like cheating.
Okay, it seems we have a definition problem here. My wife Juno and I met and started dating after we got divorced. So no, it's not like cheating at all. Because once we're divorced, it's no longer any concern of yours who I choose to meet, date, or marry.
It looks like you're the one who needs a legal reason, Harry. It's so pathetic that you didn't know this. Legally, if you date another person within 3 years of getting divorced, that's considered cheating. But you just didn't stop at dating. You actually married your mistress. That took the damages up a few notches.
What on earth are you talking about?
Oh my god, you are thick. Let me say it again, slowly this time. If you get married within 3 years of getting divorced, that's cheating.
Hey, you know what? I think I know what your confusion is here. I think what you're referring to is the statute of limitations on suing your spouse for adultery. If you discover within 3 years of a divorce that your former spouse was cheating during your marriage, then you can sue them for adultery. Is that what this is about?
I don't get it. How am I wrong about this?
I really have no idea how you managed to misinterpret such plain legal language as that. But in any case, my wife consulted with a lawyer, a person who does this sort of thing professionally, and he confirmed that no, you don't have any standing to sue me like you're trying to.
No way! I don't believe you. How come you guys got to talk to a lawyer, but none of the lawyers I went to would give me the time of the day?
Sounds like you went around to a bunch of different law offices then, huh?
Yeah, I did. This is so unfair. No matter what I said to any of the lawyers I went to, none of them would help me at all.
It sounds like they could see from a mile away that there was no way representing you would end up well for them.
But how could they know that?
I already went over this, so allow me to repeat myself. I met Juno, started dating her, proposed to her, and married her, all after the two of us got divorced. There are no legal grounds for you to sue me for infidelity. We were no longer together.
But the law says I can.
What did the lawyers you talked to tell you? They must have given you some response. But seriously, this isn't even that difficult of legalese. It's practically layman's terms. Oh, and I shouldn't have to remind you about this, but you were the one who was unfaithful during our marriage. So you've really got some gall to try and sue me for getting remarried after we divorced.
Wait, what? Harry, what's going on here? Why did I just get a big stack of papers from your lawyer?
So I take it you were successfully served then?
Served? What do you mean served? What is this?
I just so happened to discover that you had been unfaithful during our marriage. So I'm exercising my legal right to sue you for damages. That's all.
What? I wasn't unfaithful. We got divorced because we weren't just meant for each other. We had different values. We liked different things. We never got along.
Yeah, that's definitely part of the story. I thought that was all there was to it too. So at first I felt that going our separate ways would be the best thing for both of us. However, when I looked through that 10-page screed you put in my mailbox, in the midst of all the grammatical and spelling mistakes and nonsensical legal theories, there were a few passages that caught my attention. Remember the part where you were comparing me to another guy you had met toward the end of our marriage? That got me suspicious that maybe there was more to our divorce than I first thought.
Oh.
You're still seeing the same guy, aren't you? The guy who works part-time at a local factory. You did me the favour of including your current address when you put that envelope in my mailbox. Thanks to that, it was easy to hire a private detective of my own to check into you. I come to find out the supposedly single-occupant apartment you live in is actually owned by a man. And he also learned that you were frequently going in and out of that apartment while we were still married. It wasn't long after he found out that he got exactly what he needed. Hard proof that you were having an affair.
This can't be happening. Not only am I not getting money out of you, but now you're the one who's gonna get money from me?
By the way, I'm not the only one who's getting money from you. The guy whose apartment you're living in is married. He's got a wife and kids in another city.
Oh my god, please tell me you didn't tell her.
I'm happy to report that I did, in fact, inform her of everything. She said she is going to divorce her husband and sue for full custody of the kids, so he'll have to pay her child support and you'll have to pay her damages for knowingly sleeping with her husband.
What are you trying to do? Destroy me?
I also told your parents.
Oh, come on.
They told me to tell you they're disowning you. They never want to hear from you again, and they won't give you any help with your impending legal troubles.
How could you do this to me? You're a scumbag, Harry.
Oh, I'm the scumbag. Me?
Is this fun for you? Ruining my relationship with my boyfriend?
I wouldn't really call it fun, but I suppose you could say I'm getting a sense of satisfaction with seeing to it that someone like you gets what they deserve.
You jerk! Creep! You're not gonna be satisfied until my life is totally destroyed, are you?
I wouldn't say destroyed, no. I'm just ensuring that any and all responsible parties take responsibility for the consequences of their own actions. That's all.
But how can you sue me when we've been divorced for 3 years?
I'm sorry, weren't you paying attention to our conversation yesterday? I told you that if infidelity is discovered within 3 years of a divorce, the wronged spouse can sue for damages. Scroll up if you want. I told you all this before. And since technically 3 years haven't passed yet, I'm still well within my rights to sue.
You're just doing this for money, aren't you?
And what were you after when you tried to bilk me out of $100,000?
Screw you!
Got nothing, eh? That's fine. If you'd like to learn more about infidelity laws, try asking one of the lawyers you spoke to before.
I said screw you! You money-grubbing snake!
Call me what you wish, Sarah, but I can't have you meddling in my affairs anymore. You caused a great deal of trouble for me and my wife. I decided that the only way you would learn to stay away from us is if I hit you hard and as fast as I could.
I'll break up with my boyfriend, okay? That'll solve everything, won't it?
It's far too late for that, Sarah. Even if you break up with him now, it won't change the fact that you're going to have to fork up some cash to me and your boyfriend's wife.
Seriously? You've got to be kidding me.
Oh, and with that, I think I'll take my leave from this conversation. Talking with you is like bashing my head against a brick wall, giving me a headache.
No, no, no! You are not gonna run away from me like this! Coward!
Man, you remind me of the Black Knight scene from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Alright, yeah, so, look, a lawyer will be speaking with you soon, so I suggest you do what he tells you to.
Wait, Harry, can we talk about this?
Nope. Bye. I've been doing a lot of thinking about my relationship with my ex-wife lately. At the time, I justified our divorce to myself by saying it was because of a difference in values, but now, however, I actually kind of think that the real reason is just that my ex-wife was really, really, really dumb. And I mean, look, this isn't to say that I'm some kind of Albert Einstein or anything, but man, yeah, that's all there is to say. She's just a complete ignoramus. After that last text exchange, the wife of my ex-wife's boyfriend launched her lawsuits against the two of them. Apparently, her lawyer showed up to my ex-wife's apartment just as mine was leaving. Both of our lawsuits were for a lump sum payment, leaving the adulterous couple completely penniless. As her boyfriend never did have much of what could be considered a career, she's now working 2 jobs in order to keep their finances above water. Funny story. The other day, my ex-wife actually sent me a text message begging me to take her back. I was at a loss for words, so I didn't even respond. I just blocked her and went about my day. The last thread connecting the two of us is that she knows my current address, but we're moving within the month in order to remedy that. It'll be nice to finally be free from her, 3 years after our divorce.
I just received a big package of the best steaks in the world from Cindy's husband. I heard that this grass-fed meat is super expensive and very hard to get. We're going to have a real feast tonight. Boy, Cindy really married a super nice guy. Why couldn't you be more like your sister, Karen? Why can't you find a nice guy like Paul, always thinking about the family? Please, not this again. Is it so wonderful that she married some rich guy that buys you stuff? You make her out to be some kind of saint or something. Excuse me, that's overemphasizing it a bit, don't you think? I'm just sick and tired of hearing the same thing over and over, that's all. So is that all you wanted to say? If it is, I'm pretty busy now, so
You don't even go out of your way to try and know anything about my fiancé. If you're going to go on and on and on about it, I would really like to cut it short.
It's that attitude that I can't stand. Can you do something about that? You went ahead and refused that little blind date I arranged for you with that rich and handsome guy last month. You didn't even bother to meet him. I pulled some strings to get that arranged, you know. So embarrassing when I heard you turned him down. You had the gall to cancel, so that I figured you must have had a pretty good reason. But it turns out that this guy, this fiancé of yours, is some shabby-looking, penniless guy, for Pete's sake. Where in God's name did you find this guy? You never listened to me, Karen, always disobeying me at every turn. How could I not give you an earful every now and again?
Mom, I don't live my life solely to get your approval. I've got my own life to worry about.
See what I mean? That's what I'm talking about, that attitude of yours.
Please, Mom, are you going to start up that same old senseless rambling? You're always going on and on about it being a waste of time to text me online, so why text me? 9 times out of 10, it's you that first sends me a line. Did you know that? What is there to talk about? Most of the time you just ramble on about the same old thing, and I'm sick of it.
Oh, I see. So you feel that it's a pain in the rear to get a line from your mother, is that what you're saying? I think you're just jealous of your sister. Just because Cindy is always nice to me, you have some kind of grudge against her. She has a nice, rich husband, and look at you. It's envy, that's it, isn't it?
Is that all you've got to say? That's why you texted me? If you're finished, I would like to cut this short, if you don't mind.
Excuse me, are you even listening to me?
Not really. Anyways, I'm still working, so I really need to pull the plug on this very enlightening conversation. See ya, Mom. Hey, Cindy, how are you? About your husband. Apparently he sent some gifts to Mom again. I think she said it was pricey steaks or something. He's always sending her costly stuff. Are you okay with all that?
Hey, Karen. Yeah, I just heard about that.
Apparently he's using your credit card to make these purchases and has them sent to Mom, right? Sounds like he just goes online and picks whatever he wants and charges it on your credit card. Maybe you should cancel that card or something. I bet you dread getting that bill from the credit card company every month.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing that, but I figured it would get this way, so I set a little trap for him, so don't worry.
A trap? What are you talking about? You set some kind of trap?
Yeah, I'll explain it all when we meet on the weekend. You're coming over on Saturday, right?
Yeah, I'll be there. I want to hear about this little trap. By the way, why does your husband keep sending Mom such high-end stuff? Steaks, expensive fruit from Europe. I remember he sent her that overpriced Kobe beef from Japan. That must have cost a fortune. I can understand if it was his real mom, but his mother-in-law doesn't make sense.
Oh yeah, that's right. I guess I never explained it all to you, did I?
Explained what?
About my husband's mother. She's not his real mom. At least, that's how he explained it to me.
Really? No, you didn't tell me about that.
Yeah, well, apparently his mom died when he was like 12 years old and he was brought up by his grandmother. His dad later remarried and he got along with his stepmom, but he wasn't really able to accept her as his real mom, understandably. You met her, right? She's real nice and all. So maybe he feels this bond towards Mom. Maybe he's hankering for some kind of affection.
Oh, I get it. A bond, huh? Well, I can sort of understand that, but just because he has this affinity toward Mom, does he have to use your credit card to buy pricey gifts for Mom? Just doesn't seem right. I'm sure there are better ways to show appreciation, I would think. And trying to gain favor with a person like our Mom?
Yeah, well, he still doesn't know her well, I suppose. That's also something I wanted to explain to you the next time we meet.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it all. Anyway, I'm sure that you've got a handle on the whole thing. You always do. I don't have anything to worry about, I suppose. If you're in trouble or anything, don't hesitate to contact me, okay? I'll help you out any way I can.
Yeah, I will. Thanks, sis. I can always count on you to be there for me. But aren't you pretty busy right now? I mean, with your wedding coming up, it's just 3 months away, wasn't it? I bet you've got a never-ending to-do list. I sure did before I got married. If there's anything I can do to help out, don't hesitate, okay? Yeah, you got it. What are sisters for, right? Karen, are you seeing this text? If you are, answer me right now. I want you to terminate this relationship and cancel this wedding you're planning today. I don't want to hear any nasty reply from you. This has gone far enough. Are you out of your mind, Mom? How could I do that on the day of my wedding, for God's sake? I have no desire to cancel this wedding. I love Mark and I intend to marry him as planned, and there is nothing that you can do about it. So please, Mom, stop with this nonsense. Oh, don't worry, Karen. I already called the wedding hall and canceled the wedding. There must already be a sign outside announcing the cancellation, so the guests will be turning around and leaving about now. Wait, are you kidding me? You canceled the wedding? Yes, you remember that rich guy I set up that blind date with? Well, it turns out he just couldn't get you out of his mind. He wants to marry you. He says he'll pay $50,000 towards my retirement if you marry him. How could you turn that down, right? So I took the initiative and canceled the wedding. We'll arrange another wedding next month. It's all set. Have you totally lost your marbles, Mom? I'm not going to marry this guy. I only met him once at your place, and that was just by chance. The guy hardly knows me, for Christ's sake. Besides, the wedding staff contacted me and verified if I wanted to cancel, and of course I said no, that it was some kind of prank. Apparently, they've had similar pranks happen in the past. I told them that the wedding will proceed as planned. As a matter of fact, most of the guests have already arrived. So the wedding is proceeding as scheduled. What? They just ignored my call? I'm your mother, for God's sake. They can't do that. Yes, they can. Preparations are already being carried out. What am I going to do about the wedding next month? What am I going to tell him? And the $50,000? How the hell am I supposed to know? Work it out for yourself, Mom. I have nothing to do with that. If you're against this marriage, so be it. I really don't care, Mom. I also arranged a pre-wedding meeting at an expensive restaurant downtown tonight with this guy. What am I going to do about that? What should I tell him? I'm not going to let you marry that penniless lowlife. It's just not going to happen. You hear me, Karen? Mom, are you there? What the hell is wrong with you? Have you completely gone bonkers? Why the hell did you come dressed in all black like it was a funeral? The guests were totally horrified. I thought I told you that you weren't welcome if you were against this marriage. Oh, yeah, that. I completely got things all mixed up is all. Got what mixed up? It was a wedding, for Christ's sake. I thought you were holding a wedding and a funeral at the same time. But that wedding was so shabby, did it even matter if I came dressed in all black? Actually, it seemed kind of fitting. Oh, is that right? I think I saw, maybe 30 guests in total. Really? Your sister had over 100. It was so inconsequential that the other guests probably mistook it for a funeral. Everyone seemed dead. That was because you showed up in funeral gear. And what was up with that black veil? Anyway, after you got kicked out, the place livened up and it was very enjoyable, thank you. And the reason why there were only a small number of guests is because if we invited everyone, it would get way out of hand. So we decided to just invite close friends and relatives. I really don't care why there were only a meager number of guests. That doesn't concern me one bit. My main purpose was to disrupt that wedding. I was willing to do anything to make a mess of your plans. And I bet it worked, too. After such a shamble, his relatives were probably horrified and called the whole wedding off, am I right? Now that everything is over and this marriage is no longer a thing, come on home. We have to get ready for the date tonight. Sorry, Mom, but I'm heading for the airport now. We're flying to Hawaii on our honeymoon. Excuse me? Honeymoon? You're not even married. That was canceled. No, it wasn't, Mom. After you were kicked out, it went on as scheduled and we got married. Everyone congratulated us. Yes, even his relatives. It was a beautiful wedding. We even stopped off at City Hall and submitted our marriage certificate. We are now officially married.
Say what? You already submitted the marriage papers? Why didn't his relatives terminate the wedding? I made quite an impression today. They must have thought you had crazy relatives and wanted nothing further to do with you. Your antics didn't really have much effect, to be honest. After you left, things immediately got back to normal. It was as if you were never there. Actually, I talked to the staff and all the guests beforehand about you, Mom. They were all prepared for what you would pull. Although they were a bit flabbergasted that you would turn up in full funeral wear. You warned them about your own mother? That I was a danger to the guests or something? Yeah, something like that, I guess. But it seems there was someone who received money and assisted in this little scheme of yours. I wonder who paid him. Anyway, that person was identified early on, and the wedding hall staff took care of him. He will probably be let go. Just wonder if it was worth whatever you paid him. Pay who? What are you talking about? I have nothing to... Mom, I really don't care about that. Have you talked to Cindy at all about my husband? You know, about what he does? Pardon me, what's Cindy have to do about this? Don't bring your sister into this. Yeah, I figured as much. You never had any interest in me, so you never bothered to ask about my fiancé, now husband. Just thought he was, how did you describe him? A penniless lowlife, wasn't it? Yeah, that was it. Did you know that Mark, my husband, is related to Cindy's husband? They are, they're cousins. Bet you didn't know that. Excuse me? Mark is his cousin? Are you serious? And another thing that may be of surprise to you, he's slated to be the next president of the company that owns the subsidiary firm that Cindy's husband works for. Wait. Mark's going to be the president of the company that owns this other company? This smaller subsidiary? Is that what you're saying? So he'll be in a more senior position than Cindy's husband? No way, that doesn't make any sense. Then tell me why he was dressed like some maintenance worker when he came to our house last year. He sure didn't look like a man who was destined to be the president of a major corporation. I tried to explain that to you so many times, Mom, you just never listen. Don't you remember that time when you called and said that if I wanted to marry Mark, I had to bring him over within the hour or you wouldn't give us your blessing? Do you remember that? Yes, of course I remember. So what? What I'm asking is why he was dressed like some janitor. His father's company also runs several construction companies, and he was at one of the sites overseeing a current building project. A building project? Yes, that big waterfront project. He was overseeing that, so he couldn't very well go to a construction site in a suit and tie. When you gave us that ultimatum, well, he was an hour's drive away and had no time to change, so he hopped in his car in his work clothes and rushed over there. Why didn't you say something before that? You could have given me a heads up, for Pete's sake. If I would have known that, I wouldn't have... I did. Several times. Why didn't you tell me he was the next in line to be president of that company, the parent company to Cindy's? Because I didn't want you to know that. Excuse me, why didn't you want me to know? When Cindy got married, you were jubilant that she had married a nice, rich guy and that you would enjoy the lavish gifts that would come your way. I just didn't want to hear any of that nonsense from you. Karen, you make me sound like some kind of a self-serving gold digger. It's true, isn't it? I don't think I'm wrong in my assessment. That's all you're interested in. You don't care if I'm happy or not. That's not true. And another thing, Mom. That guy you tried to marry me off to, that guy is the epitome of poor. The thing you most hate, Mom. The guy is a penniless lowlife if there ever was one. Pardon me, that can't be true. When I told Mark about how you were trying to pawn me off to some guy, Mark did a little background check on him. First off, he verified that it was the same guy who I rejected 1 year ago when you set up that first blind date. He dug a little deeper and learned that he embezzled from his company and got caught. He what? He's an embezzler? Yes, that $50,000 that you brought up seems pretty obvious where that money came from. You mean to tell me that guy's a con artist? A thief? That's right, Mom. Seems like you were wrong about Mark, huh? And you were totally wrong about me. With that said, I'm going to cut all ties with you, Mom. To be honest, I don't need you in my life. Wait, are you crazy? You can't just cut ties with me. I'm your mother. You can never cut ties. Now that you married a rich guy, even richer than Cindy's, why would you cut your mother out?
There you go again. That's the exact thing that I hate about you, Mom.
But I was only trying to.
It's already been 7 years since Dad passed away. You married him because he owned his company, and that's what attracted you to him, right? You were only interested in his money. And when he died, he left you a nice lump of money so you wouldn't suffer financially. But in less than 2 years, the money quickly dried up. So I ask you, Mom, why prey on us? I wish you would stop relying on us to maintain your lifestyle. Why don't you work and just support yourself? Dad gave you a chance to live a quiet life, but you squandered that, didn't you?
How could you say that to your mother? I worked hard all my life to bring you kids up. I deserve a little compensation. Well, I don't care because I still have Cindy. She would never betray me like you have. She married a nice, rich man. She'll take care of me. At least I have one daughter that loves me. She wouldn't betray her own mother.
I'm surprised you haven't heard yet. Cindy got divorced a little while ago.
Wait, what did you say? Divorce? Cindy wouldn't get a divorce.
It all started when her husband's mother asked her to consider becoming the next president of the company.
You're not making any sense, Karen. Are you talking about Cindy? They want her to be president?
Well, one thing led to another, and she was introduced to the president's son and married him, which turned out to be a huge mistake. But it turned out that her husband, although the son of the president who runs a profitable company, was a real tightwad.
Tightwad? You mean stingy with his money?
Yeah, a real penny pincher, according to Cindy. Did you know that all those gifts you got, that they were bought using Cindy's money? All charged on her credit card? He was able to use it all he liked because she had her credit card registered on that site where you can buy just about anything. As long as he had the password, one click and he could buy anything he wanted. Only problem is Cindy had to pay the huge bill every month. He never spent a dime of his own money. But Cindy laid a trap for him. She changed all the credit card information to his mother's name.
Huh? But wouldn't...
Of course, she told her mother-in-law about what she was going to do. Apparently, Cindy had confided in her about their son's misdeeds beforehand. But most importantly, do you know what this means for Cindy's husband?
No. What?
It means his father will learn that he was illegally using Cindy's credit card to buy you all kinds of expensive stuff. He may be married to Cindy, but he used it using her password and without permission, and that's against the law. And the amount he used was pretty significant, somewhere in the neighborhood of $10,000 or $12,000 apparently.
$10,000 or $12,000? That much? Are you serious?
Cindy used this as the main reason for divorcing him. But the good news is she got all of her money back. Well, long story short, she turned down the offer to take over the company as president and is currently looking for a new job and maybe a new husband.
She turned down that offer? Is she out of her mind? Does that mean she's unemployed now? What is wrong with her? How could she turn down an offer like that? She's my daughter, for Christ's sake. She's supposed to take care of me. And now she's jobless? Oh, what in God's name was she thinking? I never in my life thought my daughter would betray me like this. Both my daughters.
Your rationale of what a daughter should be is skewed, if you ask me. Anyway, this has gone on way too long. What I want to say, as well as Cindy, is that you're not going to get your way, Mom. Not now or ever. Get that through your head once and for all.
But you can't just leave me to fend for myself.
I can, and I will. Last but not least, just remember that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I hope you don't forget that, Mom. There is no such thing as a free lunch.
Karen, please, let's talk about this. You and Cindy.
Sorry, Mom. We just arrived at the airport. Gotta go. See ya. I heard from Cindy that she called her and told her she was cutting ties with her once and for all. Of course, she insisted that we meet and talk things through, but I wasn't having any of it. Once we arrived at the airport in Hawaii, I turned on my phone to find like 100 messages from my mom. I skimmed through the messages, but most of it was what I expected of her. All about how it was a waste for Cindy to turn down that offer, or about us talking things over and getting back together as a family.
I was thinking of blocking her after a while. I wanted to see how she could fend for herself before I completely cut her off. But my husband was more sympathetic than me. He went out of his way to find her a job working at one of the company's subsidiaries. My mom's always despised work, and when she was forced to take this job, it was pretty hard on her, to say the least. But I hope that she learns the satisfaction of working hard. Maybe it will never happen, but one can hope, right?
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.